Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jael for those of you that may not know, and today's video is going to be a full face of e.l.f. cosmetics. I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this look literally using just e.l.f. cosmetics, which is insane. If you guys are not already, please make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright, you guys, I'm looking like a movie character, maybe like Cinderella. I'm giving myself like little cutesy Cinderella vibes when she's about to sing in my own little corner. Okay, we're going to start off with the brows. So y'all know I'm very dedicated if I'm doing brows, although I have been doing them on camera a lot more often lately. Excuse me as I just open this package very loudly. So this is the Lock On Liner and Brow Cream in the shade Espresso. I also did pick up 2 brow pencils. I wasn't sure like which one would be best. So I have this one. There was a shade that seemed like it might be a little bit better because this one is a little bit deeper than what I have been reaching for lately, but it was sold out on the website and I was trying to get everything on the website at once because I know there are some things that aren't offered in store. So for brow pencils, I also picked up the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in Deep Brown, and this one is in the shade Deep Brown. And I picked up the brow pencil in the shade Brunette. So I'm thinking Brunette maybe based off of like the packaging might be the better for outlining because you don't want your outline to be like too deep. Okay, so I still need to finish my brows, but these are definitely way too dark on camera. At least in my monitor, they look like they're okay, but in person, it low-key looks like I filled my brows in with black eyeliner or like a very deep brown eyeliner, so it's not looking the greatest. So I'm just gonna try and just tighten this up a bit and then clean them up. To clean up my brows, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Medium Sand. I'm going to set my brows really quickly with the Wow Brow in the shade Brunette. But I kind of want to just run a teensy bit of concealer through them just to see if I can like really lighten them up. So I have 2 foundations here today that I want to try out. I have this is the Flawless Finish foundation, and I have one in the shade Maple and one in the shade Honey. To me, Honey looks very like dark, and Maple looks like it's going to be more my skin tone. So this foundation, if you aren't familiar with it, you probably are because like everybody uses it. It's supposed to be an oil-free satin finish. So we're going to see. I'm going to apply it in this area like where my eyes and stuff are just so that I have a better transition with my brows because this is so light and I don't want to have that starkness with my eye look because I don't like that when you can kind of see the base underneath. So I'm going to pump a little bit out on the back of my hand, if it'll come out. Alright, for eyes today, I'm going with the Shadow Lock Eyelid Primer in the shade Sheer. This, I'm hoping, works well. It's a doe foot applicator, so I'm just going to kind of pop this all over the lid. So next I'm going in with these e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadows. I have actually used these before. I will have that video linked up above. I really am impressed by these shadows and the formula. I think that they perform very well and they're just so pretty. So I have Cream and Sugar and Pumpkin Pie. I felt like these 2 would just go so well together. I haven't used these 2 palettes before in particular, but I have used Rose Water and I forget the name of the other one, but I have used the like more kind of purpley pinkish ones. Going into the Pumpkin Pie palette, I'm going to pick up this shade right here, and this is going to be like my base transition shade. This is kind of like a nice little brownie color. And let's pop that onto the lid. Maybe I should zoom you guys in for this. Let's zoom you in. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just kind of creating a little shape for me to work with. And also putting down the transition color all at the same time. I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to go in with this deeper brown shade right here and just blend a little bit right below where I sat down that transitional shade. Now on the Cream and Sugar eyeshadow palette, I am going to take this deeper shade here and just kind of smoke that out on the outer corner of the eye. I feel like this is accidentally turning into a halo eye, so I might just kind of follow what's already happening and just kind of smoke this out in the inner corner too. And then one more time, I'm just going to go in with this transition shade that we had from the beginning and just blend out again up top. Actually, I think I want to take a clean brush and just really blend that out. I wasn't loving that brush I was using that much, so I'm switching it up. I want to try and apply that shade again. The brush I was using was not doing it for me. But this one's working much better. I think I'm going to take this orangey shade, this like orangey shimmer shade from Pumpkin Pie right here. And I'm going to pop that on the lid. Woo, that pigment. And that is without me wetting my brush at all, which is honestly insanity. All right, and just for a little bit of added dimension, I'm going to take this shade right here in the Cream and Sugar palette and pop that on top of the shimmer we already have down. I feel like it's basically just a lighter version of the shade in the Pumpkin Pie palette. And I'm just going to basically follow the same steps that I did to like lay down the base mats and just blend this in to the shimmer. So I actually already have two primers from e.l.f. that I really love. I have this e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer, and then I have the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. They are both really great. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Putty Primer in my T-zone area where I feel like my pores are the most emphasized. And I'm going to be using the other primer, the Jelly Pop Dew, on the rest of my face. All right, you guys, now I am going to go ahead and get started with the foundation for real. So real quick, I want to spritz my face. This is the e.l.f. Glow Dewy Mist. I thought this was a setting spray, but I don't think it actually is. This has coconut and argan oil in it. So I'm just going to mix it up. It looks like this. So pretty. And I'm going to just spritz my face. So again, we're going in with this foundation in the shade Maple. So I actually did try this foundation like when it first came out and everybody was talking about it. But I had just been going through like a whole thing with my skin and my skin didn't like it that much, and I also had the wrong shade. So I'm hoping that this time goes better. I'm going to try blending it out with a sponge. This is the e.l.f. I believe it's called the Total Face Sponge. It's a really good sponge to have in your arsenal. How are we all doing, by the way? How are we feeling about it basically being fall? I mean, it is fall. It's officially like the first day of fall already happened, which I am so excited about personally. I am a huge fan of fall. I absolutely love it. And I just couldn't wait. When I was younger, I loved fall. not even like, I wasn't even as concerned with the actual fact that it was fall. It was like, it was going to not be so hot anymore. There were going to be no, like, little to no bugs. And I was going to get to watch like Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town. Those were like my most favorite things, you know, and I do also have, you know, the other Halloween favorites, Addams Family Values, Beetlejuice, all that type of stuff. But when I was growing up, like before even like Twitches and stuff came out, that was a thing. Like Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town. Those were the movies that you wanted to see once this season rolled out. I'm putting on like probably more than I normally would of this foundation, by the way, but I want to build it up because right now I'm seeing like light to medium coverage, and I believe I can get at least like a nice medium coverage if I build it up. But yeah, I really, really love fall time. I really love just the feeling of being in fall time. I love the fashions of fall. I love like sweaters and scarves and boots. And my friend actually sent me a video of the show Schitt's Creek, and the main character in it, or one of the main characters in it, she was asked like what her favorite season is, and she goes, awards season. And my friend was like, that is you. And it is me, because that's true. Awards season for like television and film very much line up with like my favorite seasons of the year, except for Tony season. Tony season is in the middle of summer, and that's like the only, or like the beginning of summer, I guess, and that's like the only exception. That to me is the highlight of the summer, and then the rest of it is just like, God. Okay, so I did just go ahead and do a little bit of correcting with like outside products. That does not count because this is still technically a full face of e.l.f. That's just something that I kind of have to do when I see hyperpigmentation. I can't always rely on just a foundation to fix that for me. I can get a gray undertone in certain areas where I have that issue, especially if it's prominent at that time. And right now my skin is transitioning seasons, so my skin issues are like coming at me. So that does not count. But I do like this foundation a lot, which I'm surprised with because, like I said, the first time I tried it, I did not have the best experience. So for concealer, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Why am I saying this? You guys know what it is. For my concealer, I'm going with my Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is supposed to be a satin finish. And again, this is in the shade Medium Sand. And I probably could have gotten like a deeper concealer than this, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I got this in store, and when I was picking up stuff to get online, I should have gotten up and like checked to see how these concealers wore, but I didn't. I didn't check to see what the shades looked like or anything. I just was like, oh, I already picked up a concealer in store. And this was like the shade that I saw that looked like kind of closest to what would be a good highlight shade for me. So this shade is light for sure, but we're gonna make it work. Blended out, it is okay. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse, but it actually turned out not too terribly once I blended it out. So that is good news bears. So I like this concealer so far. It doesn't seem to be like drying at all, which is always great. It is definitely like a more hydrating formula, which I do prefer those, but it's not like running everywhere. Just to give myself a little bit of a cream contour, I'm going in with the Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Rich Ebony. Might have set myself up for some failure here. Something literally was telling me like, put it on your hand first, and I was like, nah, I'll be fine. You know, I saw the color and I still thought this will be fine. It was looking so good. This is why I need to not be so extra. I can't. We can fix it. We can fix it. And I went from looking like Cinderella to looking like the Wicked Witch that turns the Beast into the Beast. Before he, like, well, she's not a Wicked Witch, right? She's like a nice witch or whatever. That she looks like, but she looks like an old haggard woman, and then like she turns the Beast into the Beast, and I look like her pre her transformation into that beautiful sorceress woman. I'm gonna try and fix this by doing some magic right now of my own, which is called adding in some more foundation. The funny thing is that I genuinely know better. I legitimately heard God's voice in my head saying, don't do it. And I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. But I'm going to set my face with the Halo Glow Setting Powder in the shade Medium. Really set my under eyes and then see how translucent this is. And if it's super translucent, I can set the rest of my face with it. If it's not, then I'm gonna go from there. I see some like slight flakage, like some slight dryness in certain areas. But you know what? It actually does look very smoothing for the most part. And it's literally just in these areas where I think it's more so the time of the year than the powder. I have to, like I said, the weather has abruptly shifted, and I'm starting to notice like the little dry areas that really come about this time of the year. So I can't necessarily fault the powder because under the rest of my face it looks quite nice. So okay, it's not bad at all. So I think I am definitely going to have to use something else to set the rest of my face though, so I'm just going to pop that on. I'm going in with this old favorite. I have not reached for this in quite some time. I probably should have thrown it out, but it's here and we're going to use it. This is the e.l.f. Contouring Blush and Bronzing Powder in the shade Antigua. As you guys can see, use this up. I have this little teensy baby bit left, so I'm literally scraping from the edges. This blush I used a lot as like a alternative to NARS Orgasm until I finally got NARS Orgasm. But when I first started wearing makeup, I was not about to buy NARS. Also, probably couldn't even afford NARS. And the blush I think ended up like falling out, but it was also like almost hitting pan. But this just hit pan by itself. This was, I think, like $3 or $6, and one of the greatest investments I made. Got me through some hard times because it's such a fantastic, truly fantastic bronzer, from what I remember at least. I have the Primer Infused Shimmer Blush. And then I also have my Bite Size Face Palette with this blush shade, and this is in the shade Pomegranate. This is the Primer Infused Shimmer Blush in the shade Always Breezy. Okay, this is a good choice because it's nice and like pink and cute, but also subtle enough for the look that we have. I'm gonna just spritz my face real fast with the gluey, oh my god, what is happening? I'm going to spritz my face really fast with the Glow Dewy Setting Mist. So my skin is actually looking quite nice right now, like on camera and in person. It looks very nice, so I am definitely impressed with that. We're going to go in with the Pomegranate Bite Size Face Duo, this little baby palette. And I am just going to take the shimmer shade right here, and we're going to use this and apply some highlight. All right, you guys, so right now I need to obviously pop on some lashes. These are the e.l.f. Faux Mink lashes in the Social Butterfly style. And they look like this. All right, you guys, so words. All right, you guys, so what I'm going to do right now is just pick up the Sugar and Spice palette. I'm going to take the lightest shade here, and I'm just going to pop that in the inner corner. And then I'm also going to be blending out just this like deeper shade here, and then taking this brown shade from the Pumpkin Pie palette and just smoking those out along the lower lash line. I picked up this lip kit from the e.l.f. Retro Paradise collection. I've heard Juicy Jazz in particular rave about this lip kit over and over and over again, so I was like, let me pick these up because these are supposed to just be like the best liners, like lip liners that e.l.f. has, and they had a lot of browns in them, and y'all know I love my brown lip liners, so I picked that up. So that is like the set like lip liner, one of them that we're using. I also have this e.l.f. High Shine Intense Gloss in the shade Bitten Pink, which just looks so cute and like fall and just love it. This was actually sent to me, this lip lacquer in the shade Fantasy. It's like a lip topper. This is like a gift with purchase, as was this one in the shade Prismatic. Or no, this is a Prismatic lip gloss in the shade Rose Quartz. So these are both really pretty. Don't know that I'm going to be using them today, and then I know that there's like another kind of lip topper situation in there. I'm kind of feeling these satin lipsticks. I think that might be the vibe, and then maybe I will go in with a topper. But these are the Seriously Satin lipsticks, and I have them in the shade Nectar and Cider. You know what? I think Cider is actually the one. I'm going to go in with Cider. Cider's the one for today. So none of these have names, but I'm going to line my lips with this brown liner, which is like the second deepest one. This is kind of giving me like a slightly like more than tinted lip balm vibe. I think I might take this deeper lip liner then, like the deepest one that comes in the Retro Paradise kit, and just do a little bit more lining. I think I'm going to try the lip topper, the lip lacquer in the shade Fantasy. I think that's going to go well with this. Alright, you guys, and this is the video, the final look. I love my makeup today. In person, on camera, it just looks so beautiful. Always remember that when you see these, obviously we are under like studio lights basically, so our skin's going to look a little bit more smoother. You guys can kind of see texture, but not, even if I zoomed you in, you wouldn't see it all as like sincerely. But even with that, you know, the little bits of texture that I see, I'm definitely attributing to the change in weather. It means I need to change up my skincare routine just a little bit to compensate. But even with that, now that everything's kind of setting in and everything's settling down, it just looks so beautiful and I feel beautiful. This is the best makeup day that I've had in a minute, and this is all affordable makeup. This is all makeup from e.l.f., which is just mind-blowing that you can get a look like this for so little money. I mean, like under $100. It's amazing. So I pretty much liked everything, so I'm not going to run through anything, but the only things that I feel like I didn't like give my total approval of was the brow pomade, and that's not because I didn't like it, it's because the shade was a little bit off for me. But even with the shade being a little bit off for me, it still was so just easy to use. It took me way less time than it normally does for me to do my brows, and I had to like correct them because the shade was so dark. But even with that, I just did a little bit of concealer, and I used the brow little pomade thing, the brow mascara, the brow gel, and it just made everything work out and look so beautiful. So that was great. And with the e.l.f. palettes, love them. Do however wish, I feel like I heard about Pumpkin Pie so much, I wish Pumpkin Pie had a deeper like true burnt orange, because this one is just a little bit too brown and I wish it had a little bit more orange in it. But it's still beautiful. I just personally, if I'm being like nitpicky, which I can be if I want to, I would just add in another like shade of orange. With that all being said, I apologize, I'm talking fast, but I'm running out of camera space and I want to finish this video out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below with any other brands that you would like to see a one brand tutorial of. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so that you never miss an upload. And I will see you all in my very next video. Bye, my loves.
Say my name until the city burns and the stars fade away and your scars don't hurt. Stay with me until the last